Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dante. Welcome to the White Day Podcast. I guess we're doing a women's edition of this episode. We only got two girls, but we got Ann, Shirley, and Kiki on here. So we don't have the fellas on here. It got too masculine, I guess, for the fellas. I guess are too feminine for them to show up. Either one of the two, because none of them are here. But this is going to be an interesting topic. I might just do a separate series with the guys. So this is the season. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So I'm definitely going to do that at some point. Don't know how, but I will. But this episode is going to be what grinds your guys' gears about men and communication. This is gonna be a lot of shit. I'm allowing you guys to attack the man right now today, and you could do it freely, and no one's probably gonna say anything because there's no guys out here.
Yeah.
So feel free to lash out. But before we do, I'm not sure if you guys want to do buzzwords.
Okay.
You guys want to?
Yeah.
Okay. So masculine is a word. You cannot say that word.
Okay.
We should.
Right.
Yeah.
Accepted.
No, that's too easy. That's too. You guys don't say that too often. I'm trying to think of a word. Trying to think of a word. What's a good one? You guys always say. What's a good one? It's a good buzzword. So you guys are tuning in what buzzword is if you guys don't know and you guys are just now first starting on, which means we didn't do it last couple episodes. So this is going to be more of a different thing. So buzzword meaning if one of the speakers or one of us says a word, anyone's obligated to ask any question. So it's opening up to any questions, 3 questions. It can be personal, it can be about dating, about anything. So you'll be on a hot seat. That's what it's called. So the buzzword, what would it be? What's a good one? What is a good one?
What
just
if
do
we
feminine.
Love language.
Love language?
Love language? Okay.
Yeah, is that hard? No? Masculine?
We can just
Feminine,
go with masculine.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Masculine? You guys don't say that too often, though.
We will today because we're talking about communication style differences in gender.
Okay, all right. Gender should be the word.
Ah.
Gender should be the word. That should be the word.
That is hard.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
fine.
good one. You guys ready?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, are we going to recap from the last episode? Or are we just going to go straight into it? What do you guys see? The floor is to you ladies today. It is.
It's ladies' night.
It's Women Crush Wednesday. It is all that stuff. And how come I cannot see comments on there? How can you can see the comments and I can't, Kylie?
I'm on my
live show?
phone.
Yeah, I'm on my phone too, but how come I can't see them?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
Not you.
Maybe I popped in later on than you did. That's weird. I'm still kind of.
I'll watch them though.
All right, no, that's fine. I mean, I'm on Facebook, so I'm looking at that too. So, all right. So last episode.
Right.
What was it about?
Last episode, we talked about hypergamy
Oh.
and simp dating.
Simp dating. Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
We did. Hypergamy.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It didn't get as interesting as it was in the group chat, but it was kind of a micro dose of what happens in our group chats.
Yeah, I would say the men really came through in explaining like masculinity and how they go about expressing their masculinity in relationships.
Mhm.
Like as a man, you have to consistently like be striving for something, or your female partner will lose interest. And I think they did a really good job talking about like hypergamy through a masculine lens. We also talked about like,
oh, you lucky that was not the buzzword. You
I
lucky that
know.
you lucky that was not the buzzword.
No, but she
Whoa.
mouthed it though. She was like masculine. Like
Gosh, you are lucky that's not the buzzword. Ooh, whew. I'm gonna tear you up right there. We're waiting
I
for someone.
know. Whew.
Okay, continue though.
Oh man, now I'm nervous. Okay. And we talked about how like when you do hypergamy wrong, you end up being like a simp, which is good.
So give us a quick definition of hypergamy and simping. So people who don't know, who just now tuning in.
Sure. So hypergamy is the social strategy of dating above your social class, or you're dating to your up above your social status. It originated from like marriage, and now in modern times, it's something that we do in dating, where you generally are striving to be with someone who's your equal or better.
Oh, I mean, that
work?
was a good one.
I'm
That's
like
a good one.
looking around.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good one.
that's what it is. It's basically, in a nutshell, it's just dating above your social class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people do that often. It's true, especially in the Bay Area. It's interesting because, you know, and I mean, I had my talk about this, and I've dated multiple women who were above that social status. It was an issue for a lot of the things, being that I'm not at that level. So yes, I'll say yet. But just in that situation, it does put, I don't know. There's sugar mamas, there's sugar mamas and sugar daddies. You know, it's okay. I personally don't really look at that social status, but I guess it does matter in these times too. So
Did it make you feel less masculine?
Oh no, I still got my masculinity. You know, I don't mean nothing to me. That ain't gonna hurt me.
Or like less confident because you feel like you had to be the person who was a higher class than the woman?
As long as they need me still to do masculine things, like changing light bulbs, doing oil change, you know, shit like that. You know, stuff like that, working on the yard. As long as I still get to do those things,
killing the spiders,
you know, like that's what I can do, you know. As long as I can keep my financially, it doesn't really justify anything with me. Personally, yes, I would love to be the one that's leading. I like to be the leader of that. And oh man, my internet's unstable too. See, I knew that was gonna happen. Anyways, but I would like to have that. That is a goal. But if it doesn't happen, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you took everything from me. Now, if I'm with a woman that's like that's what they're bringing up all the time, then that's gonna be an issue for me. So, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, are you just mad because I'm making more money than you, like stuff like that, and they just kind of like get to you, then that'd be a problem. But if they don't really care and I don't care, then it's fine. Cool. Yeah. If they want me to still kill spiders, I got you. If anybody wants me to kill some spiders, mosquitoes, you know.
Or like opening pickle jars.
Open up pickle jars. I got you. Holla at your boy. Well, yeah. Oh, yesterday was 420, so you know, I'm sure probably that's why these guys didn't show up. This makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that's what I feel. Okay, but yeah, if you guys want to listen to that, it's on the last episode. So all the information's on there. But now we're moving on to this episode today. Topic. It's gonna be. I don't know who should I start it off with? Should be Aunt Shirley. I know she has a lot to say.
No, it's okay, Kylie.
Kylie's taking it first. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Kylie. Now I see you.
Only if you want to.
No, only if you want to. Okay.
Okay. Well, Dante, like introduce like a question or something that you want us to.
Yeah, I'll introduce it. I got you. Yeah. You know, this is. I'll hold it down. So, you guys didn't really put questions there. Okay. All right. So, what are the different communication styles between the men and women? I didn't say the other. Did you word? Yeah.
I poorly worded that question.
How do men communicate, in parentheses, more rationally, whereas women are relational / emotional?
Yeah.
Who wrote? Did you write that? Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. All right. Kylie, does that make sense to you, that question?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right.
So
All right.
I feel like men, they don't like communicating how they feel, or they don't really like talking that much, you know, if they're upset or something. So I don't know. I feel like as women, we need to understand that, and it's not good to keep like crying at him, like kind of like give him space, and just let him come to you, you know, like if he feels like talking about his, like if he had a bad day or something, then like leave it open for him, but don't like pry and keep asking like, oh, what's wrong, you know?
And one of the things I think, as I don't know, as a woman, I feel like if this is someone who I really care about, I don't want to be like left out. It almost feels like they're closing you out when they do that. Like,
yeah,
you're not allowed into this space, right? That's the language that I'm getting, and it's so hard to not feel like they just don't want to share with you, but that's not the case, right? Like they just need time to process what they're going through first before they like share, and sometimes don't even have like the language or the words to really articulate like what's going on, so it can feel like an almost like an added pressure of like, I don't know what I'm feeling, and then I'm expected to like say how I'm feeling, and then I'm not able to like say how I'm feeling, so you feel like this kind of like weight. I didn't get that until like I failed, honestly, until I made the mistake of like,
What'd you do? Tell us. Tell us what you did wrong. The world wants to know.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I want to know. So we can be a beacon of hope for all the women out there to how to.
I think every woman's experienced this, where like you get into like a petty argument with your partner, something silly, and like in my case, like we had gotten into an argument over something, like we had gone out to the club, came back, and you could just tell that his mood had shifted, and I wanted to know like what was he upset about.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't tell me. And instead of me being like, all right, cool, like, well, let's table this and like come back to it, I was just like, no, like you always do this. I wanted him to take like accountability like for his emotions and like just step up and say like what was bothering him instead of me do all that.
Because us guys, we don't like to be, you know, we talked about this, the vulnerability part. You know, we had
he wasn't willing to be vulnerable. And
we had that issue.
It's
we don't want to seem like we
like, yeah, in like a man's mind, like he thinks that, oh, if I share how I feel, then that's not manly enough. Like that's masculine, you know? But on our end, like on a woman's side, like I feel like that would make him more masculine, like more of a man if he like overcame that and told us how he felt, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's key. That's key. But you know, on the other side of the spectrum, y'all women don't like to say that either. You guys don't. We have to try to figure it out. So when the girl's mad, like, I'm fine. It's nothing. It's nothing. We know it's something wrong,
because you
right?
know already. That's why.
But like, why can't they just tell us? I mean, it makes it so much easier, right? So it also could be equally frustrating to the fellas out there on communication with women, because like you should already know that I'm mad. Like it's just like, oh, like because some guys we very dull. We don't really know until they actually tell us. So
if I can pick up on the fact that you're upset without you communicating a word to me that you're upset, I guess that takes empathy. That takes like really knowing a person. And I think like that's what women are asking for. Well, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Knowing that.
I do that.
Knowing that guy is upset, right? Now it's how you say what you say that could make it worse or make it better. So that's what people typically do. And it might not, you may have read it wrong, the context, because he may just not give you anything and just be like, oh, whatever. Because most guys would be like, well, whatever. It's fine. Like, you know,
yeah, it's fine.
Like, I'll go to my man cave and just, you know, just let it go away.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just, I mean, that's always been the big thing, I think, like, for us myself too. Like, I typically get pretty sensitive of certain things, but I try not to, because, you know, it's frowned upon. And like, far as like what Markel was talking about, and you get kind of shafted for being a crybaby or someone complains a lot, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to be that, man. I don't want to be like this way, right? So I mean, I get that sometimes. Some people, I mean, I learned it. I've had to actually get better at being less sensitive, because I just learned that the whole world is not dependent. It's not revolves around me. Whatever how they say things is how I perceive things. So I take that personal, and that's a problem I always had an issue with. I took things personal for everything. Like, oh, they're out to get me. Like, this is what it is. Like, but it really isn't that the case. They're actually not even thinking about it. They're going home and sitting on their bed like it's nothing, right? Whatever they said to you, they just, right? But we take it I took it to the heart a lot. So I learned to kind of be like, all right, let me see the other side of the spectrum. And I'm working on it, but it's just, it's a basic communication too, which comes with it. I typically like to tell girls, hey, like, that was messed up. Because it's not me being emotional. I'm letting you know that you did something dumb. Like, that's me being straightforward, right? Like, that was stupid. Like, that was dumb. That made me upset. Why would you say that? You know, so, but I guess in the way that it is, could be like an emotion or a feeling or whatever. But I mean, guys got emotions too. We all got it. You know, we're human. But it's what we do with our action. I think that's what it is. And I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Because you actually just answered her question. I was going to ask you the same question. But, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. All right. I'll get to the part with the questions. And then what grinds your guys' gears about certain things about men. It could be anything. It could be a lot of things.
So my number one pet peeve is when I'm expressing myself and someone says, you're being too dramatic, or you need to relax in the middle of me expressing myself. That never makes me calm down. That never makes me more relaxed.
Just calm down.
Being too dramatic.
Yeah, like, calm. I'm calm.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I learned to never say that.
That's something that grinds my gears, because one thing that I'm realizing is, like, each one of us live in our own little worlds with our own unique perspective. And what I experience, like my feelings, what I actually feel, may not be what someone else is feeling, right? But given that, like, I feel we have an obligation to try to understand where other people are coming from. So if I'm feeling like excited and happy and someone isn't experiencing that, that's okay. But to tell that person, like, you need to relax, like, calm down, like, you're being too much, like, it's kind of invalidating. So I don't like that. Personally, like, being told to calm down when I'm being, like, authentic about how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I can see that being. Kylie, you gonna say something?
Has there ever been a time for you where someone has said that to you, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, like, this person's right. I am kind of being like over dramatic about this thing. Because I'm like that way too. I do get over dramatic, especially when I'm really? But then, you know, my friend would just be like, you're being too dramatic about this.
Yeah.
Really?
You know what? You're right. I am kind of being
yeah.
like,
right?
Big thing.
When someone tells you that, you're like, oh, okay, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, I did some guys tell me, hey man, you just kind of, you're being over dramatic. Some people tell me I'd be over dramatic. You know what? I do it just to like mess with people. I really don't care. But like, I like to be over dramatic, like just in general, just to mess with people. But I like to do that. Like, oh my gosh, there's like 1 million people in here. Ah, like I'll just flip out. Right? Yeah. And it's like, I just do it just mess. People at work always say, calm down. I'm like, I am calm. Back up. Like, so I mean, I do it just to mess with people. But like, in all sense, I learned it doesn't work when you tell a girl, especially a woman, that to calm down. I
mean, sometimes it's warranted, like Kylie said, but like, if a woman's like in the middle of telling you like why she cried at work, because like some girl gave her attitude at work, and you're just like, you're being too dramatic. Like, like,
I don't need you to say that.
I don't need you to like fix me rationally. I just want you to hear what I'm saying. Like, that's my frustration.
Yeah.
But like Kylie's right. Like sometimes you are being like a little too like dramatic. Sometimes you need that dose of reality. You need to like bring it down a notch. That's what Mark Howell would say is being emotionally responsible.
Yeah. Oh, you're learning from him, huh? That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's weird. Wow. Like I didn't know he was able to educate that way.
I mean, they have some insightful things to say sometimes.
Yeah, they say some pretty good stuff sometimes when we listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you guys listen, sometimes we don't, right? That's good. I mean, I'm glad his teachings are incorporated into this episode.
He's gonna watch this and then he's gonna be like,
yeah, I said that. Yeah. But okay. So Kylie, I'll ask you a question then. Because since Aunt Shirley kind of answered a lot of that.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Ouch.
Calm down.
All right, I'm sure.
How does that create misunderstandings and miscommunications? How can folks improve? Really?
I think it's really simple. For men, I feel like sometimes they don't listen, and the main thing is just to listen. Especially in situations, for instance, what Anne Shirley was just talking about, during times where, she feels really upset and she feels, I guess on his end, being over dramatic, like instead of trying to fix it in the situation, just listen to her, like, because she really just wants to vent, she's not looking for you to like solve our problems. Like we just want to talk, we just need to listen. Or you could at least act like you're listening. Just like
so what should they say? Like what words should they say? Like should they say go oh man, that sucks.
Like,
okay.
Make eye contact with us, like nod, maybe like kind of repeat what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
That like listening type stuff.
Yeah. Because because there's some people who go, that's right. Man. That sucks, right? And it's just like you're like talking to a brick, and like, that's not a good thing. Like, oh shoot. But like I think what you just said, Kylie, was like hammer on the nail, because like just repeating it back to them shows that you understood them. Because like women like, he didn't listen to me. Like he wasn't listening. I don't know why I even talked to him. Like, and if you're talking, if you guys are trying to talk to a guy when he's playing video games and doing his kind of own thing, just wait for him to finish, okay? Just wait for him to finish what he's doing, because he's not gonna be tuned. He's gonna have to put everything on hold just to listen. So letting you guys know.
Have you seen that challenge that's been going around online where like girlfriends are like getting naked in front of their boyfriends while
they're not paying attention?
Yeah,
I've seen that.
And and like some of them are like,
oh, I gotta
go, bro.
Yeah.
And then other guys are like, can you move? I'm still
it's like, you know what I mean? Like this, especially at the Final Fantasy VII game that came out, there was this girl that was who made a post on her story, and she was like literally dancing in front of the TV, and the boyfriend was like, can you move? Like I'm trying to, like he literally said, can you move the fuck out of the way? Like he wanted to say that, but he was just like, he knew she was recording, and she was like sitting there just dancing in front of the TV, and he's just like, oh my gosh. Like, like, gosh, man, I'm gonna throw something at her. But it's just like, just if it's watching some kind of sporting event or something like that, typically we're not fully in tune to what they were saying. So don't take offense to it. Don't beat him up for it because he wasn't listening. Yeah. You just caught him at a wrong time, and you need to vent at that moment. I think, but most guys should stop what they're doing, but like sometimes they don't. I'll be honest. The skill to always, I think that's a good skill to use, because that repeating back is always what I used to. So,
and like you can ask questions too.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know
maybe
about that.
You asking the right questions can help her, figure out and calm herself down.
I don't know. That might. Why would you say that? Like, because we might say a stupid question, and then that makes it worse.
Instance, like Anne Shirley's example earlier, she was like, oh, like my coworker like made me upset like earlier today. That's why I had a bad day at work. Well, you could ask like, oh, what did she do to make you feel that way? you know, just like ask, like, because when you ask questions, that also shows that you're listening.
Right, exactly. That's how you show you're an active listener.
Yeah.
We all got to learn how to do that at some point. I know. I agree. I'm working on it.
Kylie's really good. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Kylie's really good at like if you say A, she's able to say A, like, but back to you in a way that makes sense. If that makes, like, here's an example, right? Like if you're not aware of like what, like if you're upset and you're saying things like, oh my God, and he did this and he did that, and I'm just like, Kylie's someone who's really good at like putting that feeling into words and then mirroring it back to you, like, oh, it sounds like you're experiencing frustration because he like picked you up late. And then you're like, oh yeah, exactly, like I am experiencing frustration because he picked me up late. Like, I think you do that really well where you're able to mirror back, but also have like a logical train of like a structure to it, instead of like it being like emotional vomit. And according to Raquel, that's being emotionally irresponsible. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. I never heard anyone say that about me.
Really?
So, yeah.
Girl empowerment, women empowerment.
Yeah. Oh man, sorry. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like to see that. That's what I like to see, man. This podcast is beautiful.
Oh my God. I think, okay, because men are good at being really rational, right? They're really good at like structures.
Logic or rational?
I put like logic and being rational.
Okay.
Same, I guess. So like if your lady is talking about like, oh, this, that, and the other thing, like instead of trying to fix her, just being able to like put her feelings.
You want to fix everything. Guys want to fix everything. What do you mean? We want to fix everything. That's we give you guys flowers, chocolates when you guys are mad. We do these things just to make sure to fix stuff. We put a Band-Aid on stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't work?
That
doesn't work?
No, you're right. Like, it does. Like, one of the things we need to learn how to do is, like, understand that's also communication.
Yeah.
Like Kylie was saying earlier.
Someone said comment, makes us feel useful. So Gabe said, makes us feel useful. Gabe. Shout out to Gabe Golden, that guy, man. I love when he tunes in. Appreciate you, bro. But we're talking about so if you guys is tuning in at the live stream, we're talking about what grinds the gears for men that women have with communication. So it's kind of like a shot at the men for today, just because the guys didn't show up. I'm petty as fuck. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, no, it's just I'm gonna do a guy segment too, so it's gonna be a lot of shit too. So you know,
we have to make this good.
How about you, Dante? You could let us know what makes women annoying to you.
I can't let you guys all the secrets. I only do it with the guys. I want to do it with the fellas. Not with you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, if you want to switch this to the women's side to it, I mean, there is the other side of the spectrum. That part, understanding that I can't read your body language completely. I will not know. Like, I am plain as day. Like, if you say, like, I'm mad, and I won't even know what you're mad about, and I'm just, like, sitting there just quiet, figuring out what I did wrong, and I'm like, I must have did something wrong, but I don't want to say anything, right? So, because I think I would make this worse. It's going back to the emotional responsibility, word vomit, so I just go, like, you know what? I'll just wait for them to kind of clear it out. I typically, when a girl gets upset with me, I just go, okay, she's mad. So I'll just maybe get back to her later in the day, or let her cool off, and then I'll just kind of, say something funny out of nowhere, random, and they're like, God damn it, Dante, I can't be mad at him, and that's it. That's what I do. Secrets. That's what you gotta do. Make them laugh.
Okay.
Yeah. Make them laugh.
So you just let her be. Basically.
I mean, because I feel like I would say something that would make it worse. So I'm just like, I'm typically good at this, making things worse. But no, I do use that tool of saying, hey, I can repeat back what they said, how they feel. If it's not about me, I'll typically just kind of empower or have sympathy or have some kind of empathy there. If they're going to having a rough day, then yeah. But if it's not mad at me, then it's fine. I can have that conversation. But if they're mad at me, I just go like, oh, right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh. So
well, if you were doing that to me, what would be going through my mind is, oh, he's ignoring me, like he doesn't care about me, he's not talking to me,
Yeah.
He doesn't like care that I'm upset.
Yeah. That's
exactly how I feel, from a female perspective.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think about that too. I was like, maybe she thinks that
yeah, like that you don't care about us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. Like I said, we get you chocolates. We get you
communicated by you not talking to me or ignoring me when I'm upset.
There will be a line of men at the check stand at Safeway getting flowers. You know why they're getting flowers? And like, oh,
it's always
he messed up. Don't worry, man. Oh, Mondre just sent me a message. He said, my friend said, Caleb said, women hate that.
I saw that.
Communication is key success in a relationship, bruh. He's right. I mean, he's right. Like all I can do is really listen and just go, all right. So yeah, he's right. He's correct. He's right on the money on that one. But it's not about me today. This is about the women's side of it. Just, But I guess I have another question. I think Mondre wants to come on. Should we let him on?
I guess.
Should we let him in this women realm of feminine energy? Should we let him in? He's on a live stream.
Yeah.
Oh,
I sent him an email, man. I sent him an email. I don't know why he's not checking. I sent it to him. Unless he added himself on here. Let me see. No, I didn't see anything. Nope. Well, I mean, he could tune in at some point. He can comment. It's fine. But okay. So next question. Let's see what I got here. All right. Have you ever? This is going to be Aunt Shirley. Have you ever had an experience with one person was communicating one way and you were communicating the other way?
Oh man, yeah, all the time, honestly. And I think it's because, again, when I'm trying to talk about how I feel, I literally just talk about how I'm feeling. There's not really like rational to it. And oftentimes people come with like the thinking portion first. So yeah, I'm trying to think of like a story right now and it's not coming to mind, but I just know I do it. Like I know, like I constantly am missing it with people, so I do lots of follow-up questions like, hey, is this what you meant? Or I'm feeling like this and I'm not sure if you intended to like make me feel this way when you said that, but this is what, like, I do a lot of analyzing because I feel like sometimes what I'm saying initially isn't understood the way I'm intending it to. So I think understanding that, like, sometimes when you communicate to people, they can only like understand you based off of like their own kind of perception. And so having follow-up questions is like key. So yeah, I wish I had a good story to tell, but I don't. But I've experienced this.
You experienced it. Okay. So like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a scenario that happened. Now, what did you do to say like, okay, what did you follow-up questions? Like give an example of a follow-up question. Like what is a follow-up question example that you used? Like an example. You can use, I mean, you can use your story or whatever, but just
like, okay.
It's not even on there. I just asked that question out the fly.
That's a good question. Like going on I don't know if I want to tell that story. Okay, how about like hypothetically, I go on a date with someone and like we're supposed to pay at the end of the date.
Uh-oh.
And we haven't discussed who's going to pay, like whatever. And I just kind of have the assumption that he's going to pay because it's a date, right? A miscommunication is like I'm coming in with these expectations, like he's going to pay for the date. And he's coming in with like probably a different expectation. So when it's time to pay, like there's that awkward like, oh, who's gonna pay it, who's gonna get it, and we end up doing like 50-50. I'm the kind of person who will text and be like, hey, you know how we had that awkward exchange at dinner, does that mean like did you not pay for my date or pay for my portion because you didn't consider this was a date? Because I'm like moving with this like expectation that like this is what this is and this is what certain things happen. So if that doesn't happen, did I mess up? Did I misinterpret this? And oftentimes like he'll like, that's an example, right? Like where I have an expectation and it's not met. And so I'll be like, hey, like I was expecting this, or I felt like you were going to do this and this didn't happen. So does that mean like you don't like me or something like that?
What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with women always thinking that the guy doesn't like them? What's up with
You're
that?
like frozen on my end.
Huh?
You are frozen.
I'm frozen? Like Frozen, the movie?
Okay, you're back. What's up with that? Like thinking well,
what's up with that? Like thinking like, oh yeah, I did freeze. I totally froze on there. I looked on the live stream and I was like, oh shoot, I did freeze. Yeah, I mean, like, why do you guys think that like a guy doesn't like you based on actions? Like what?
Because like if guys are supposed to be action oriented and they don't speak with their words and they speak with their actions, well, if you're not doing certain actions, aren't you communicating something to me? And isn't that like, I don't know, I just automatically assume it's because you don't like me. Because I feel like guys who really want a woman, like they show her. Like you see it all the time in like media, and like sometimes like your friends like brag about like what so and so is doing for them, and I don't know, it's just I don't know if Kylie
that dinner stuff is tricky.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, because a lot of people in society say, oh, if a man really wants you, like you'll like know that he does,
yeah, you'll just
so, like
know.
yeah, like how like your expectation about him paying for the whole meal,
yeah,
like sometimes when that happens, for me, for instance, if we split the bill, then I don't know, I try not to think of too negatively about it. I try to think like, oh, like he knows that, I make pretty good money too, and I could probably like pay for a meal if I wanted to, but let's just like split it, because we could both afford it. I don't know, I guess. That's kind of like what I kind of think about too, But if I end up paying for the whole meal, then that's like a automatic like no for me. Like I'll never do that person.
Not even freebie next time.
That's actually happened to me too.
Before. Not even round two. Damn, you guys are cold. I mean, would you respect a man if he said, "Hey, like financially, like was that already a deal breaker already?" I know it's kind of doesn't have anything to do with it, but it is communication. Because I feel like if they can't. They're very
different if he
translucent with you.
With me,
Okay.
I would understand. But if it came, down to the bill and like I paid for it, and he didn't say anything, he was just like, "Thank you,"
Okay. Well, that makes.
They're like, "I'll get you."
Just ghost them after, huh?
Like, you're not. We're not seeing you ever again.
Oh my god.
Dang.
That's like a deal breaker for me. I'm sorry.
You ghost them, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's fair. That's fair play. I mean, it's I've been to the other receiving end of that. I learned from my mistakes from that. The communication part was a big part, especially with paying for dinner at that point. But someone commented and said, "I'm from East Coast, and we ladies always make sure the guy pays. If a man doesn't or won't pay, he's a cheap loser."
Oh my God.
That's harsh.
That is hella harsh. Yikes.
Yeah. She don't play. Yeah. I know her. She doesn't play. I don't know what else to say about that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Oh crap! Oh, I almost said the word that we're not supposed to say. Wait.
You almost did. Did you?
Wait, I almost did, but I want to make sure. What's the word again?
I'm not gonna say it.
Ah, dang. No, say it.
Nope.
Okay,
I only say it once. Buzzword
Okay, I'm
is
gonna
only
be
one.
honest, Dante. I forgot what the word was.
I'm not gonna say it. You guys gotta. What you guys say, you will know. I'll let you know when you guys say it.
Wait, but do you even know this word?
I do.
Dante?
I do know the. Yeah, I do know.
That's why you're
Yeah,
not saying it.
yeah. I know.
All right.
Oh,
It's up here.
Does it start with the?
It's up here.
Does it start with the?
I'm not gonna. No, we're not guessing this. Okay, we're not gonna keep guessing. You know? No, I got it. I got you.
All right.
Don't say it. I'll catch you and I'll ring the bell. I don't have a bell, but I need to get one. Okay, so next question. I'll ask for Kylie. How can people work on communication between two people? Since you're really good at the communication aspect.
I think it's really just understanding how how men and women think, you know, what's going through our minds, you know, when you do certain things. Like for instance, if a man doesn't communicate his feelings to us, you know, if he's feeling upset or something, then women should understand, you know, they don't process the same thing. They don't process things the same as we do, you know. They just need some time to, you know, you just have to let them come to you, you know, when they're ready to talk, sort of thing. And
What
like,
they don't talk?
Yeah. What if they don't talk?
If they don't talk, then I think as women, like, we have a right to tell them, you know, hey, what's bothering you? You know, you could talk to me, you know, it's making me feel like you're leaving me out, you know, and I really want to be a part of this, you know, I really want to help you heal, you know, and it's making me feel this way, you know. And Dante, do you think as a man, like, would that help you open up to us more, or what do you think?
I mean, showing that you
told you how we felt.
Yeah, I mean, to answer that, yeah, showing that you do actually kind of give a shit, it's actually key. I think people forget that, like, oh man, I think in that moment we typically, I mean, myself, I can't speak for every guy, but we typically in that moment we're like, yo man, like, just, you mean, don't keep egging on, like we were talking about, just don't keep asking, like when I'm ready, whatever, you know. But I think that part of me, I think in my head, like, well, she really tried to reach out. She actually really tried to, like, talk it out. And that's when I kind of have to step back and realize, okay, she was really trying to talk to me. Let me go talk back to her and see what happens. You know what I mean? So that's when I kind of open up. I mean, I'm not like every one other guy, but I visualize that sometimes. And it's just like, okay, all right. Because, you know, you can only push somebody so far out your life too many times and where they're just going to, like, leave. I think guys, we typically we learn things after it's gone. We you know, once it's gone, we realize, oh man, she was a good thing. Like they're like, damn, I should never done that. I should never screamed at her that one time. Like I think we live in that moment until it's like, you know, good things are gone, you know, and then we realize that. I heard from all my friends like, yeah, man, she was a good one. I know, right? We realize it after. So I think it takes us a while to sit that with us. Someone said something about a comment. Half of men and women are selfish and don't give a crap about anyone but themselves. Explanation part. Communication goes both ways. Ironically, some men are more communicative than women.
So I just want to say, like, that interest. I think what they're trying to say is, like, sometimes we don't speak to listen or speak to connect or speak to understand. We just speak to say what we want to say, which that's how I understood that. And also I realized like my love language is like I like words of affirmation.
You're so lucky that wasn't the word.
Oh, I know.
So lucky that was.
That's like
you said two words. You're so lucky that wasn't the word. Go ahead, continue. I had to say that.
Sorry, my love language is words of affirmation. So like primarily I like to speak through like text, and I like to hear like words being said to me. And I realized men don't use like phones or texting in the same way. They use it as like logistics, like how to like plan for the next date, or like what you're doing now, or what's happening. Like it's all like operational. So like texting all day isn't something that like you should expect.
You should not expect them. Give us, women out there, please. We're not. Some of us men aren't texters. Like, we just don't like to. I personally don't like to text a whole paragraph sometimes.
Yeah, but
I just don't. You know what?
Though, or
somewhat
social media, like
so
apps.
yeah. So a guy, I had a dating coach on here before. He mentioned something and it made sense. He said on dating apps, right? Because he's a big like coach on dating apps, right? He said guys like to put things in bullet points, women like to put things in paragraphs. Right? So he's just like, yeah, because for me, I'm just like, boom, Dante, 30, 32, this, 6, like I just like to put it like in bullet points, right? But for like the women I see on their app, it's just like a whole paragraph. I mean, some do it. They say whatever they need to say in listing, but like generally, of them, they do put like paragraphs. They put like commas. They're very good with punctuation. Like most of those guys, like dude, just and our pictures like suck, so we're not like photogenic too. So
some people are like one sentence per text, so you'll get like 8 text messages in a row, or like
right. So just take that in mind. We are dissecting everything. And for me, I am dissecting the best I can a whole paragraph, an essay that someone just texted me, and I can't get to all of it. I reading comprehension is different from talking to a person. Okay.
What do you guys think about using text to like communicate like upset or like when you're in a fight versus like being on the phone or being face to face? Is there one way you guys prefer when you're in your feelings?
I kind of like Snapchat, you know, because you could like shoot a video, or you could just take a picture of yourself and like put like something like consolidating how you feel in like a few sentences or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like less like intrusive and like impersonal, you know, and I think that kind of takes the pressure off of, you know, speaking directly to their face or something, or like talking on the phone and like hearing the person's voice, you know. So like some people might feel more comfortable, you know, venting that way. I mean, for me, it does at least.
Yeah, for sure. Like you're still able to express how you feel, but Snapchat, so there's like the physical aspect where you see the person, but then at the same time it's like condensed and you can like come to it when you want or when you're ready, like text message, instead of like having the pressure to like communicate now.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
That's a good one. How about you, Dante?
I am I like to talk to people in person.
Okay.
I'm big on that. And for me, like this is how I am to texting. Is just not you get little out of me with texting, because like I'm either doing a couple.
Very busy texter.
I'm doing multiple things probably at that time, and I don't know what else to say. But if you talk to me, I'll talk. Like I'll talk your ear off, right? No problem.
Oh yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like people don't see that. They're like, because like I said, from another woman's perspective, they might think, oh, does he like me? Is he not feeling me? So it's just like, okay. And I have to like explain to them, no, I'm just not a great texter. I'm sorry. Like I'm just, right? Either I respond, I'll give you one word answers, or I'm just doing something else to the next thing. Because I'll look and I'll text and I'll just continue what I have to do. Like I'm very like, just because if I'm focused on something, I don't want distractions, because I'm very like one-minded. I can't do multiple things at once. So I'm going, boom, next one, right? So that's me. I can't speak for all the guys, but that is specifically me. Like I'll do that.
Is it a red flag if a guy is texting you all day? Like
no, I mean he might be just a good texter.
Texting you all day.
Yeah, he might. There's some people who are really like a couple of my guy friends. They text a lot. They you know what I mean? Like they do a lot of that. That's not a bad thing. I don't see it as like any kind of masculine or feminine, you know. So that's not one of the words, by the way. You're fine. I didn't. But you know, yeah, none of you guys have said it, so it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So we could probably end this and we can continue on, because I probably got like 10 minutes left on this. But we'll ask you guys. I know you guys. I didn't I know Anne Shirley kind of said her pet peeves about guys, right? What pissed you guys off the most on communication with men? And that would be it. I'm not sure if anyone wants to comment on it. I got a couple people on here, but go. Just go on a whole tangent of what you just dislike that guys do. You guys start with, I'll start with Kylie first. Like, what's the biggest, like, you could give us a list, like, oh man, I hate we gotta do this, right? And just do that.
Well, I know for one thing, I don't like it when their actions don't match their words, or versus their words don't match their actions. You know, for instance, if a guy is gonna, you know, make plans with you, like, oh, I'm gonna take you here or something, I'm gonna fly you across the world or whatever.
Oh, wow, damn.
You know, stuff like that.
I'm hyping you up.
Well, already like going into that, I already know like, oh, this is like probably not real, but
Fake love.
That's like an elaborate.
Like Drake, fake love.
But yeah, I mean, if you say something, like follow through with it, you know. If you're gonna say you're gonna be there, I expect you to be there, you know.
Dang, a man in their word, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. I feel it.
Yeah, or if you tell me one thing, like if you're saying, you know, I only see you as a friend, and or I only see us as friends, nothing else, then I expect you to treat me like a friend, you know. Like,
oh my
God. That's a
bit. Don't be all cuddly with me or
you
something.
know what?
Or,
No, I don't.
Girlfriend things out of me. It's like that's not me.
I'm gonna time out on that one. I'm gonna time. Okay, look, listen. I had a story about that one. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know when a girl friend zones me, I don't get like upset. Like I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? And I want to be their friend. And the girl literally told me, "It's like, don't you get it? I friend zoned you." I was like, well, am I supposed to talk to you anymore? I don't know. Like, cause like I was like, yeah, let's like I invited them out to like a couple of my friends like DJs events, and then they're just like, oh, you're doing too much. Like, don't you get it? I was like, well, I thought we were friends. Like, I'm not asking you out on a date. I'm bringing people. I'm doing it where it's people involved. It's not just you and I. But like, you know, they get mad, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm down for do, down for don't.
Well, yeah, I get that. I mean, you're totally just being a friend, but you know, if we're having like more intimate hangouts or it's just us two or something, you know,
yeah,
maybe we're still hooking up, you know.
But people think getting in a friend zone is a rejection. So they see that like, okay, I'm gonna put this person in a friend zone. He's definitely not gonna talk to me anymore. He's not gonna want to be my friend. I'm like, I don't mind being a friend. I like having, you know, I don't mind. Most people say I have enough friends. Like, no, you don't. You don't have enough friends, because you never know that person. They might have a friend that you might meet. So you never know. So if you close that whatever communication with that person, you never know that person might have a person that have a friend that you might actually match with that person. So that's happened before.
Coming from the opposite end, for instance, if you friend zone me and I wanted to really date you, you know, like me not still being friends with you or communicating with you, like that's me myself giving my time to heal, you know, from you. Yeah. If I did have feelings for you, you know, so that's why I'm not really trying to be your friend, because if I continue to be your friend, then like I would be strung along, you know. Damn. Like in my mind I would think like, oh, maybe one day like he'll see me more as a friend, and then I wouldn't stop, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just coming from the other end, you know.
So we got some comments here. Hui said, when he said he'll take you out, gets you in and out. Word is bond by Kim. You know, someone isn't into you when they got their phone out answering calls and texts. Another comment says, when he says he'll take you to Italy and Paris and New York and it's a Las Vegas strip. That's true. It's got all of it there though. And it's Disney World, but actually I like to go to Disney World too, actually. Yeah, that's happened to me. Friend zone, ship friend zone, not the Thunderdome. Dating inception. As I got older, I've had to friend zone guys, and I'm okay with it. I mean, hey, you know, most people take that as a rejection. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll still be your friend. I like friends. But okay. All right. Well, Anne Shirley, on to you now.
What's the question?
Did you already answer already about your pet peeves about what guys do?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Kylie just said though. Like it's about your actions not aligning with your words. It isn't just like, oh, let's get dinner and then we end up getting in and out. It's more like
what's wrong with that?
It's about like just like honesty about like the relationship. Like if I ask you like where this is going and you're like, I don't know, where is this going? But then like you're treating me like she said, like someone that you're serious about. Like that can, when you have like a misalignment with like your actions, like what you're doing is a big deal. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, it's like
it's a big
that's
deal.
true.
Stringing someone on. Yeah. No, that go ahead. That was it?
No.
Oh. See, no, when I get the guys on here, you guys got to say your piece now. When I get the guys on here, when I get the guys on here, they're gonna say something differently. Am I just letting you know? If you guys got to say your piece while you can, before we end this. If anyone wants to comment, feel free. And I froze again, didn't I? Okay, I froze a little bit. It's okay.
I kind of don't like when men like mansplain to me something. It's really like insults my intelligence, first of all. And then second of all, like it puts them in this position of like higher than me, which I don't like. So mansplaining is this process, or it's a thing that men do where they're communicating to you because you're a woman and you won't understand a certain concept because you're a woman. And it's not that the receiving party doesn't understand, because like here's the thing, 80% of communication is body language. It's like, it's not even like what I'm actually saying, it's like how I'm making you feel, and people remember how you make them feel. And I think a lot of men like forget that like tone's important, body language is really important, how you're making someone feel as you're communicating something is what they're going to remember you by. And I think like guys just don't care about that. And like
assholes.
It's all good. Like I like honesty, but there's a level of like that men can pass where it can come off kind of hurtful and like critical because they're not conscious of like how they can be perceived. It's like one of my big pet peeves.
Yeah, they speak in a condescending way to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like I'm an adult just like you. Like, yeah.
All right.
That's a thing.
Well, the live stream ended.
Oh.
We can go back on and just like kind of just talk to some of the people that were on. We had like 6 people on, so I'm sure they had a lot to say.
Oh yeah,
so
open.
We can end it here on this episode. Just kind of do a different thing, if you guys want. We can do that, but we can end it here. But appreciate you ladies coming on. Yeah, it's Taurus season, so make sure you grab.
Like, what does that mean?
It's new moon today, so.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's Earth Day. It's Earth Day. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Earth Day, sun rising. I'm learning. All right. These are good things. But I'll invite you guys back in, but we'll just end it on this episode from there. Then we'll go to the fellas. The next segment, I'll have Markel and Mondre on here. So you guys had your piece. Appreciate you guys, ladies, pouring out to how shitty men are. I'm just kidding. I love me men, But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I had to say. I mean, I'll fight you guys back in.
Okay.
All right. Thanks you guys for tuning in. If you guys are just now tuning in on there and on the audio, appreciate you guys coming on. But that is all for today. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, this is going on. This is Dante from the Why Day Podcast, the host, and hope you guys like our content on the last episode. And just letting you guys know that we are going to be posting everything on our website, www.whydaypodcast.com. And for all the information, you can go on here. I know if you guys already looked on the video, it's on YouTube. YouTube episodes are on here. Everything on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all that is on there. Now, another thing we also are giving out for a lot of listeners who's been listening for a while, we actually have a Patreon. So a Patreon account, if you donate, it's a $5 tier of $5 a month. What we're going to be giving you is some exclusive content, which is going to have 30 to 45 minute Q&A before the episode. So if we typically have a guest speakers on there. We have some love coaches on there, like we had in our last episode. We have a love coach, relationship gurus, motivational speakers. So you got the Q&A time within 30 to 45 minutes to talk to them before we do our episode. Or if you want to talk to any of us, some of the speakers on there, the co-hosts and things like that, we also open that up for anyone out there. Also, we're going to be having exclusive giving out the prior episode. So we're going to have the episode and you're going to have the first leak of the episode before we even put it on to everybody else to see. So that's all we have. It's just $5. It's a very small number. I know most people are, got other investments, whereas Netflix, I'm not competing with Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's something that we're giving out for you guys here. If you want to tune in there, that's also on the website. I'll put the link right down here. So it's www.whydatepodcast.com. And now I'm going to get back to my work. So if you guys want to kindly just, scatter